What's going on, everybody? Steve here again. This time I'm in Auburn, Indiana, in Eckhart Park, checking out their skate park, which is behind me. This is a relatively new Hunger-built skate park up in northern Indiana. Auburn is about 20 minutes north of Fort Wayne, and this park is fantastic design. It's got a really nice kind of layout as far as like transition being separate from street areas, and then like a more advanced street area being separated from like a lower impact street area. So you'll see in the skate park tour a really nice design, good layout, wide variety of obstacles, and really a park that I really like skating. So let's go check it out, and I'll show you all that's here. All right, so I'm going to start with the entrance of the park. And as you can see, to my left is more of like a bold section, and then to my right is the street area. There's nice segmentation throughout the park, so those who want to skate street um, can stay kind of separate from those who want to skate transition, but it's not too hard to cross back and forth too if you want to do that. So let's start with the bold section. All right, so the bold section has two Clover bowls. Um, the first has regular steel coping, the other one has pool coping throughout. Now, the one with the metal coping is a little bit shallower, but the transitions aren't as tight. It starts with like a 3 foot quarter and then goes into more like 4.5, 5 feet or so. And there's kind of a roller type thing in the middle as a bump, and it's got a really interesting shape. It almost looks like the head of an alien or something like that if you're standing at the bottom of it, or at least the end of it in the shallow end. So we'll check that out. Got some interesting lines to it, some good hips and stuff, but good bowl to learn in and get comfortable skating transition. All right, so here's like the bowl from the 3 foot end, and you can see kind of mouth, eyes for an alien, and at least that's what I think it looks like. Don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but anyway, 3 foot transitions, and then kind of relatively symmetrical, and it goes down into 5 feet. So we'll show you what that looks like here in a second, dropping in. But kind of tight transitions in the corners, and then like a roll in type thing in the middle. But good lines throughout and relatively predictable as far as the transition heights are concerned, consistent and all that good stuff. So good to learn on, good hips, layout's really good. Next is the bowl or pool, I guess you could say, with pool coping on it. It's all labeled as far as the different heights. So you got 4 foot, 6 foot, and then where I'm standing is an 8 foot. But this is designed to have tighter, steeper transitions, more like a swimming pool. And for those who really like skating bowls, they'll find that the tile throughout the entire park makes it feel more realistic and more enjoyable to skate. So I'll take you through that as well. All right, so to start things out, I'm in the 4 foot section. Again, you know, a tighter transition than the other bowl, but still relatively mellow. So it's not too intimidating or anything like that. Then goes into a 6 foot section and an 8 foot section. Um, you know, again, it's a little bit tighter as far as the hips and things like that, but it's again designed to be a little bit more realistic as far as a bowl's concerned. So I'll go through here a little bit so you can kind of see, get a sense for how these all are set up as far as the layout's concerned. There's another 3 foot quarter in this transition section. On the other side of this, it's more like a bank to wall, but you know, an opportunity to either kind of air out of the bowl and land in another transition, or use this to turn around and get going the other way as you kind of navigate through the park. Now, getting away from the transition section, first thing you'll see is a bank to curb. The curb itself is only about 6 or 8 inches tall, 20 feet long or so. The bank itself is maybe about 3 feet tall, a little bit steeper, but good setup if you like skating that type of thing. And it's your entry into what I would call like the bigger area for the street course, if you want to call it that. And you'll see over here to the right, you've got twin hubbas with a longish 5-stair gap with rails. The rails are pretty much symmetrical round rails as we get a little bit closer to it. But to start with the hubba ledge, obviously if you're coming at it towards me, it's going to skate like a down ledge, relatively tall, probably the tallest down ledge hubba in the park. It's about 18 inches or 20 inches tall to get onto, but not too bad, and you've got plenty of setup time. And the ledge itself is maybe 10 feet long, and you've got plenty of rollaway room as well. But it also skates like a bump to ledge, and so if you get speed from the corner over there, you can come hit this, and again, I would say about 20 inches tall to get onto, and the ledge itself is about 8 feet long, so a good bump to ledge. And then that transitions right into another box manual pad. So on one side, it skates like a 12-inch tall box or manual pad that's about 12 feet long or so. And then on the other side, it skates like a Euro gap. So you've got about a 2-foot gap before you get into the next bank, and then get into a quarter pipe area that allows you to turn around. So good opportunity for plenty of lines on that side. I'm going to cover this back quarter pipe area, which is your opportunity to turn around where the parking lot is. But basically, you've got a symmetrical layout where you have 2 3-foot quarters, and then a 4-foot or maybe 4.5-foot quarter as an extension. These are each like maybe 16 or 18 feet long, so you've got plenty of room to grind and turn around. Multiple people can skate it at a time, and then on each side of it, you can actually skate off the quarter into a bank as well. Now, part of the bank has been smoothed out like normal skate park ground, part of it's brushed cement, so that's something to keep in mind. But the decking on the top here leaves for plenty of room, so you don't really have to worry about people getting in the way or taking up space. So again, a really nice, well thought design as far as like having something to turn around is concerned. And then I should also mention that the extension itself also skates like a 16-inch or so tall box as well. So on that side, you got the box option. On the other side, it's a quarter pipe. So, they multi-use thought to the layout, which is really good. All right, now as I turn back around, first thing I want to point out is the Euro gap. You've got a smaller one that skates more like a Euro gap up a curb to kind of get used to. The bigger Euro gap off to the left. This smaller one is super easy, just kind of float over it almost. The space between the top of the ramp and the gap is maybe 2 feet, and the gap itself is only about 8 inches tall. But here in the middle, you've got like a Wally bump to ledge as well. So you've got, like I said, the Wally side of it, and then just skate it like a bump to ledge as well. At its tallest point, it's maybe 2 feet tall. Shortest point's maybe 16 inches tall. So it slightly slopes down, and the whole thing itself is maybe 10 feet long. So it's plenty of length to grind, and really is a lot of fun as a setup feature. I mentioned the twin hubba idea. There's another one as well that's maybe slightly shorter. I can't really tell, but whether you're skating regular or goofy footed, you're going to have an option to skate down a hubba ledge or use it as a bump to ledge. Kind of the same dimensions. And then, of course, the 5-stair in the middle with double rails. Again, works frontside and backside regardless of what stance you are. And then the 5-stair itself is a little bit longer. These steps are maybe 16 inches long, so it does make it for a longer gap. Not a big impact as far as a drop's concerned, but you're going to have a decent amount of speed to actually clear that gap. So that could be intimidating if you're more used to taking a vertical drop versus going laterally as far as a gap's concerned. Now I'm getting towards some of the smaller stuff. And first thing is the A-frame rail. You can see it's a circular rail here that is about, oh gosh, 12 feet long on either end. It's a little bit mellower here off to the left than it is to the right, but it remains pretty consistent in terms of the height. It's about 16 or 18 inches off the ground. And so with the bump, makes it really easy to get onto. And it's mellow enough to where you don't feel like you're going to go just, it's going to be a quick ride or anything like that. You've got plenty of room to grind or slide. So it's a really good design in that regard. Skates a lot like the A-frame rail at Grant Park in Chicago. If you've ever been there, you can see my skate park tour of that on the channel. Then you've got an A-frame hubble ledge. One end is a little bit longer than the other. Relatively short to get onto. It's only about 14 or 16 inches, so smaller than the other hubble ledges behind me. And again, is a way to learn and get used to that sort of thing. Other features at this end, you've got a bump to ledge setup that's kind of tall on the end, and you kind of have to ollie off to the side, and then the other side of that hubba. And you've got a really long, simple ledge or drop, however you want to skate that. It's about 12 inches tall or so. And then as I get back towards those quarters, two things to point out. One is the poled rainbow jam thing. Just a standard arc with a bank coming up to it, so you can skate in either direction like a pole jam and ride over it. And then a bump to rail or flat bar down into a bank. To get onto that, it's about 16 inches tall. Obviously a square rail, but it's nice and wide, so it's not that difficult to balance on it. You don't feel like you're going to tip off it, and you feel like you're really sturdy on it. And this thing is about 12 feet long as well. So good mix of relatively mellow obstacles on this end. Now we're getting into the smaller part of the skate park as far as like low impact stuff is concerned. There's a quarter that it's interesting. It's just kind of smack dab in the middle of everything and a little bit strange, but an opportunity to get some interesting lines. But you got a 3-foot quarter that's on top of like another 2-foot bump or so, and there's some hips kind of positioned throughout the park. So you got a hip right over here, a hip right in front of me, and then you've got the bank to wall over there as well. But I'm going to go to the smaller obstacles and wrap up this tour. This ledge is the tallest in the low impact section. It's about 14 or 16 inches tall, and I would say about 10 feet long. And it sets up nicely in any direction that you're going. But on the other side of it, you've got kind of a manual pad plus a taller ledge as well to get onto. The manual pad itself is only about 8 inches tall, but it's like 30 feet long. And then the longer, taller ledge, that's about 2 feet tall or so, and goes out even further. So it's about 2 feet on each end sticking out. So you could ollie onto the manual pad and then ollie on and skate it like an out ledge, or you could really pop and try to do the whole thing. I'm sure unless you have Tiago Lemos style pop, it's only getting hit off flat by rollerbladers and BMXers, but you can definitely jump on it off of the manual pad as well. All right, a few more obstacles left. There is this circle flat bar. It's about 14 inches tall, and it's got to be like close to 30 feet long. So that's kind of nice setup in the middle to link lines. Then you've got another manual pad ledge over there that is about 12 inches tall or so, and another 20 feet long. Can skate either like flat ledge or manual pad, really easy to get onto. You've got another ledge right over there that's shorter than the one that we started with. It's more like 14 inches, but again, an opportunity to link lines. And then you've got a quarter pipe down in the back there to turn around on. So really good layout altogether. All right, that does it for this tour of the Auburn Skate Park. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you'll want to come check it out. Obviously, it's a great park, lots to skate here, a lot of fun, good layout, everything that you could want. Hunger did a fantastic job with this park. Um, so with that said, there's other skate parks in this area to check out. So stay tuned for tours of those parks coming soon. Thanks for watching.